Hi, everyone. I welcome you to the AWS Cloud Security Group, West Africa. I'm delighted to have you on this call as a moderator and also to learn a lot about the new anomalies about CloudWatch, um, new anomaly detection patterns in CloudWatch logs. And we have an expert, a seasoned expert, who will be taking us through this session. I'm delighted to learn even as much as you are. The person who will be taking us is no other but Promise Wachuku. Is a proficient senior consultant with over a decade years of experience creating innovative solutions for financial services, IT industries. He feels comfortable interacting with stakeholders. So it's an expert which we have proficiencies. I've also done a lot of projects around CloudWatch logs, around AWS. I would like to open the floor for Promise to take us through the session. Thank you very much. I'm happy learning.
Thank you very much, Samuel. What a wonderful introduction. all right. Thank you so much, Samuel. All right, I would begin now. I'm hoping everyone is able to enjoy the session. All right, so today we are looking at an interesting topic. I call it interesting because it's one of those topics you hear people always mention over and over again, and is none other than how you are able to detect anomalies in your logs, right? How you are able to detect anomalies in your log. Of course, my name is Promise Nwachukwu, and I'm also one of the leaders for the AWS Cloud Security User Group West Africa, and I'll be taking you through this particular session for today. Of course, feel free to jot down one or two things as I'll try to see if I can show one or two things on the AWS website and we get this going. All right, so let's begin. Yes, like I said, the topic for today is the new anomaly detection patterns in CloudWatch logs. I don't know if anyone here, I don't know how many people are tuned in right now, but I mean, feel free to introduce yourself. Hello, Mayawa, how are you doing today? It's nice to actually see you here again in our session for today. All right. Of course, I know from the title, a lot of you would have, taken a guess as to what the topic is really about, right? But here I am today to try to see how I can put some more or provide some more enlightenment on this topic. I know, like I said, a lot of us are already used to this, but sure, I'm hoping that you're going to be able to learn one or two things from the session we are going to have today. All right. So, what I plan to discuss today would take us through some of this topic: log anomaly detection, severity and priority of anomalies and patterns. Also, we're going to be talking about anomaly visibility time, right? How do you go about suppressing an anomaly? And examples of flagged log events, events that are usually flagged, right? I'm also going to be talking about how do you enable anomaly detection on a log group, right? And then we are going to take some time to view anomalies that have been found, right? Examples of maybe or a scenario where you find an anomaly. How do you go about viewing that anomaly? We'll also take a look at how do you create alarms on log anomaly detectors. So, of course, when you find those anomalies, how do you proceed from there to ensure, okay, possibly, if possibly, you are being warned, or maybe an alert is being shared or sent out, right, to you, so that you are aware of what is going on. Yes, happy Easter, Mayowa, happy Easter, Onyedika Sams. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you guys for joining in. Right. Sure. Remember, you can always put in where you're joining from. And of course, we'd love to know you, and take your pen, your paper, and jot down as much as you can. Right. Um, so yeah, once you're able to create the alarms, you need to understand how the metrics are being published by log anomaly detectors, and how can you encrypt an anomaly detector and its results with the what AWS KMS. Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Mayowa. I see you joining from Lagos, Nigeria. Onyedika Sams, where are you joining from? I see we also have new viewers. Please let us know where you are connecting from. Which location are you watching us from? We are interested to really, really know about that. And like I said, today we are looking at an awesome topic, which is new anomaly detection patterns in CloudWatch logs. So I don't intend to, like, bore you guys today. So I'm going to be doing maybe a little show of how this is actually done, so that, I mean, anytime you're in your AWS environment, you don't look left out, or you don't feel like you are lost. So yes, I'm actually going to be doing a run through on the practical aspect as well. All right, let's proceed, right? So, yeah, log anomaly detection. Like most of you already know, this is all about how do you find anomalies in your logs, right? And AWS has provided us with a tool that helps with this, right? As you can see, it says the anomaly detector scans the log events ingested into the log group, right? And then finds the anomalies in the log data. So here, first of all, we need an ingestion of data into the log group, after which the anomaly detector scans that data, and then it's able to find the anomalies in that data. It also says, you can see, the anomaly detection uses what? The machine learning and pattern recognition to establish a baseline of typical log content. So what this means basically is this, right? After you have, created your anomaly detector, right? It uses, let's say, maybe if you had logs from the past 2 weeks, it uses some time to train itself on the baseline. What do we mean by the baseline? The baseline is that normal result which has always been seen, right? So the baseline is that result that has steadily been there. So it's not like as if, okay, you're having like a new set of result. No, those baselines are like the common occurrences that are being seen, right? So the anomaly detector trains itself based on the data which you have ingested into the log group, right? And typically it uses 15 minutes for this, right? Typically, it uses 15 minutes for this, right? And then when the training is completed, it's able to then display to you the anomalies it sees from those logs which it has ingested. And then it can display them in the console for you to then examine and probably decide what further actions you want to take. All right. So, on to the next one. So, when it comes to anomaly detection, there are, I think I would call them, these are common terms that people would normally um, experience. These are common terms that people would normally see when you are looking into anomaly detection patterns in AWS, right? And one of these common terms, like people would say, is having a priority, right? When an anomaly is detected, it's actually being assigned a priority. So and it says here, it says each pattern found is assigned a severity. So the anomaly detector, right, found by the anomaly detector assigns a priority, and each pattern found is assigned a severity. So it basically, right, takes a look at the log, right, and assigns priority on each of the log, and then based on the pattern found, it assigns a severity. Now you may be wondering, what is a priority and what is a severity, right? Basically, a priority is just something that is automatically computed. It's like a function within this process, and it's based on both the severity level of the pattern, right, and the amount of deviation from the expected value. So, what we generally mean by this is, let's say every morning at about 9 a.m. WAT, 9 a.m. what? Let's say there is a login at that time, maybe by one of the system user accounts, right? And maybe for some reason, or let's say a particular folder or group of copy operations are being done, right? And it's been consistent over the past 3 weeks. All of a sudden, you see that the amount or the size of the files that are being copied has increased from 50 MB to 5 gig, right? Now, based on the amount of deviation from the normal value, you get to get what is called the severity. Sorry about that. So, for example, if an anomaly might be, if a certain token increases by 500%, just like in this scenario, which I use from 500 MB to like 5 gig, right? And of course, that is like a very high deviation from the normal amount of files that are usually copied, right? That anomaly might then be designated a what, high priority, even if the severity is none, right? Now let's go over to the severity. What does the severity actually mean, right? The severity is only based on keywords found in the pattern, such as what? Fatal, error, and one. If none of these keywords are found, the severity of a pattern is marked as what? None, right? So it's possible for a pattern to have a severity of none, but at the same time have a very high amount of priority because there was a deviation from the baseline value for that particular pattern. Sorry about that all. Yeah, so let's proceed. Now, anomaly visibility time, right? What do we mean by anomaly visibility time? Anomaly visibility time is just basically the time you specify which you want to be able to see that anomaly, right? It could be the number of days, the number of hours, right? That the anomaly is displayed on the console and returned by the what? List anomalies API operation. Now, it's important to note that after this time has elapsed, right, for an anomaly, it continues to happen, but it is now accepted as a regular behavior, and the anomaly detector model stops flagging it as an anomaly. So if you have put in a set time for the anomaly to be visible, once sorry, once that set time is over, right, what happens is that even though the anomaly continues to exist, you would observe or you would notice that the anomaly doesn't give any warnings any longer. And the reason why it's no longer giving any warnings is because the anomaly visibility time has expired, right? Once the anomaly visibility time expires, the system then takes that anomaly as a regular occurring event. So therefore, it doesn't flag it any longer as what? As an anomaly. Now, if you don't adjust the visibility time when you create an anomaly detector, 21 days is used as default. Yes, you heard me right. If you don't adjust the number of days which you want this anomaly to be visible, 21 days would be used as default. Yeah, so let's go forward on this. Now, suppressing an anomaly. What do I mean by suppressing an anomaly? So it's possible that sometimes an anomaly may be reported that you probably are not really bothered about. You probably know about that condition and you don't want to be getting like, current buzz or buzzes regarding that anomaly because it's something you are aware of. So therefore, you can actually proceed to what? Suppress that anomaly. And you can see here it says after an anomaly has been found, you can choose to suppress it either what? Temporarily or permanently. Suppressing an anomaly generally causes the anomaly detector to stop flagging this or occurrence as an anomaly for the amount of time you specify. And when you suppress an anomaly, you can then choose to suppress only that specific anomaly, right? Or you can choose to suppress all the anomalies related what? To a particular pattern where that anomaly was found in. And the interesting thing is that even with all of this, you can still view suppressed anomaly in the console, and then you can choose to stop suppressing them or to continue suppressing them, right? So that is one of the interesting things about this. That is one of the interesting things about this. Um, Also, one of the things we can do is we will generally have to generally take a look into the AWS platform to see how do we locate these anomalies and how do we suppress them. All right, let's go forward. Now, what are examples of flagged log events, right? What are examples of what? Flagged log events. Now, the various events are usual events that are flagged, right? And some of them are what? One, a log event with a pattern not seen before in the log group. So just imagine a pattern that shows up in the log group after you know you know such a pattern has not been seen before, and all of a sudden this pattern then appears. So that is a kind of a event that can be flagged by the log anomaly. Another type of event that can be flagged by the non-log anomaly is the significant variation to a known pattern. So, if you remember what we were speaking about earlier, where we spoke about the fact that when the log is initially ingested into the log group, right? Once the data is initially ingested, The log anomaly detector scans through that log and tries to train itself, right? It tries to form like a baseline of regular occurrences that have been happening. It takes that about roughly 15 minutes to do that scanning and training of itself. And once it's done, it displays to you what are the baseline values and the anomaly values. Now, once there is a significant deviation from the baseline value, of course such an event is going to be flagged, right? A new value for a dynamic token that has a discrete set of usual values, of course, that is going to be flagged. A large change in the number of occurrences of a value for a dynamic token, of course, that is going to be flagged, right? So these are examples of events that are usually flagged. Now, it says that while all the preceding items might be flagged as anomalies, they don't all mean that the application is performing poorly. No, they don't, right? It just means that there are some anomalies, right? For example, a higher than usual number of 200 success values might be flagged as an anomaly, right? Because let's say we usually get 100, 200 success values, and then from 100 you are moving to 500 or to 1000. Sure, that is a huge deviation from the anomal or the normal value, so therefore it's going to be flagged, right? So therefore it's going to be flagged. Also, you can in these particular cases where you already know that these values are what's the word, they are normal, and the system decides to flag them even though they are normal, you can then proceed what do something like suppression, or basically you can basically what you can do is just to suppress these anomalies that don't have any problems attached to them, right? That's an easy way of going about this as well. All right, let's proceed. Now, how do you create an anomaly detection group? How do you create an anomaly detection group? Now, one of the ways you can do this is by what? Going into your AWS console, logging in, and then going towards CloudWatch, right? Going towards CloudWatch. So you can clearly see that here. So I'm going to share my AWS screen, so that you would be able to see the two. Yeah, let me see. Let me see this. Yeah, so let me know if you're able to see my screen. Yeah, I'm going to probably make it this way. Yeah, good. And then I'm going to bring my screen this way, okay? So that you are able to see this. Yes. Good. So, as a form of practical, right? As a form of practical, what we want to do is, how do we go about this, right? How do we enable CloudWatch, right? So, as you can see clearly from the the article we were looking at, it says this. Let me make it bigger. right? Yeah, let me make it bigger and see if I can reduce these screens, right? So they don't disturb us. So here you can see it says the first thing we need to do to enable an anomaly detection on a log group is what we need to first of all go into um, we need to first of all go into the this link, which is nothing but what we currently have here. You can see this is the link slash the CloudWatch link, right? So basically, you can authenticate into your AWS account. Once you're authenticated in, you can search for the word CloudWatch from here, right? You can search for what CloudWatch from here, and you should be able to see that service. So once you do that, you are naturally being brought in here, right? So you can see this. Next thing it says, go to what? Choose the log on log anomalies, which is here. You come over to this end, and you can see that particular feature is loading, right? So as you can see right now, we don't have any anomalies here, right? But if you wanted to, or if you had some configurations or stuff like that, you could actually proceed to create one. And just like that, you can see here, you see the function here to create what? An anomaly detection, right? So basically, all you need to do is to ensure that you provide a log group. Before, one of the basic things I would say, right, that it's standard is that you need to have a log group, right? And if possible, this log group should be existing for the past 2 weeks. Yes, if possible, this log group should be existing for the past 2 weeks. Now, if this has been existing, or if this log group you have been existing, has been ingesting data in the past 2 weeks, right? You can proceed what to select that log group, right? It says here, please note you can enable anomaly detection for one group at a time, right? So it says for one group at a time, because in this particular scenario, I think we have more than that, right? So that's why it's giving us that error. But anyway, that shouldn't really be an issue. The idea is that you just need to pick one log group at a particular time, right? Once you do that, you give the anomaly detection a name, and you can see here the evaluation frequency. This determines how often, right? How often the logs are analyzed for anomalies. So you can decide, do you want 5 minutes? Do you want 10 minutes? Do you want 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or what? 60 minutes, right? And then you can proceed to click on this, which is what? Activate anomaly detection. So with that, you are then able to create what? An anomaly detector, right? Or basically, you are then able to enable an anomaly detector. All right. So, next thing is this, which is to what? To view an anomaly that has been found, right? So basically, is just the same thing like I've explained here. You Once your log anomaly has been created, you would see here the anomaly that has been detected. And as you can see here, what you see here is what? Anomalies. And if for any reason you have some specific patterns which you feel are not a threat, you can decide to suppress those ones. So whenever you want to see the suppressed ones, all you need to do is just to what? Click on the what? Suppress button to have that anomaly suppressed. All right, so we proceed on this, right? The next thing is, now, once an anomaly has been detected, how do you want the system to proceed? Do you want a scenario such that once it detects an anomaly, an alarm is rang up, or something like that? Now, if that is the case for you, right, it's basically so easy to configure, because all you need to do in this scenario is to come under um is to come under I think we I saw it just a minute now, here, yes, log anomalies, yeah, log anomalies, right? Now once you have um created that log anomaly, this button will be activated, right? Once you've created the or you've enabled the anomaly detector, and the anomaly detector has been able to scan your log group, taking the ingested data to get to scan it and understand what are the what's the word? What are the common scenarios it's experienced and what are the deviations? It's going to populate them here, and then you're going to have this button, which is what? To create an alarm enabled. So what would then happen is you select an anomaly, and then you can say, hey, anytime this anomaly is popped up, or anytime this anomaly comes up, I want a scenario such that, you know, an alarm is rang, or maybe, you know, something like that goes off and lets you know, hey, we've seen this anomaly, right? Um, yeah, that is it. And you can see here it says the CloudWatch alarm creation wizard appears, and then the log anomaly detector field displays the name of the anomaly detector that you choose. The metric name field displays what? The anomaly count, right? So that is all what happens when you actually try to create an anomaly, or when you try to create an alarm for an anomaly, right? So that is that. Let's move on. Um, Now, the next thing we are looking at is metrics published by what? Anomaly detector. So yes, metrics are actually published, such as the anomaly count. This anomaly count metric is published with what? The following dimensions, right? Which is the log anomaly detector, which is the name of the anomaly detector itself, right? And then also the log anomaly priority. The priority level of the anomaly is also what? Published. For those of you who may not understand what we mean by priority, earlier on when we started the session, we kind of spoke about what a priority is and what a severity is, right? And then we said for a priority basically is a scenario where you have what's the word I'll use? There has been a high deviation, right, from the baseline, right? Once there's been a high deviation from the baseline, right, of course, you have what? A high priority. But in scenarios such as where you have error, warning, stuff like that, they are assigned a severity. Anything that shows error, one, stuff like that, they get assigned a severity. but it's possible for you to have a severity without a priority, and it's possible for you to have a, a priority with no severity at all, because its the severity is always chosen as none when it doesn't see those keywords as error one, or stuff like that. Once it doesn't see those three keywords, yeah, I remember there are three keywords, right? Yeah, which is fatal, error, and one. Once it doesn't see those three keywords, the severity is assigned none, right? So it's possible that you can have a high priority, which talks about a sudden increase in the deviation from the baseline, right? So that is assigned a high priority. And at the same time, even though it has a high priority, there is a possibility that if it doesn't see the words fatal, error, or one in the logs, it's going to assign the severity as none. Order. So we proceed. We proceed. Yes. So here is the log anomaly priority is one of the metric that is actually, published. It's one of the metric that is actually published. All right, the next one is encrypting an anomaly detector and its results with the AWS KMS. So, yes, by default, your anomaly detector data are always encrypted in CloudWatch logs by default. Yes, I say that again, by default, they are always encrypted. But it's possible, right? Because it makes use of a server-side encryption for the data at rest. But then it's very much possible that you don't actually want to make use of the server-side encryption, right? You want to make use of the AWS key management service for your encryption. And with that, it's possible to configure that. Yes, there are directions, there are ways which you can configure that, and then you can then have your data being configured with the what? The AWS KMS enabled as the encryption mechanism behind the what? The anomaly detector data. So right now we have been able to cover this major um, these major sections, basically describing, we've talked about the log anomaly detection, we've spoken about the severity and the priority of anomalies and their patterns. We've spoken about the visibility time. How long do you want this anomaly to be visible? We've also spoken about suppressing an anomaly. Say, for instance, in a scenario where you know that that anomaly is not harmful and you intend to suppress it, right? We've spoken about how that can be done. We've also shared instances or examples that can cause for an event in your log group to be flagged, right? And then I've also shown you in the practical sense how you can create or enable an anomaly detector, how you can also check the anomalies, the suppressed anomalies, how you can create alarms for specific patterns in your log anomalies. So I think with that we have been able to get like a kind of idea. Would I use the word an idea, or would I use the word a basic concept on how log anomaly detectors work? Right. So, like I said, this has been quite some very, very well interesting session. And of course, it was a pleasure, having to discuss this with each and every one of us. So please, if by any chance you have questions or any of that, don't hesitate at all to let me know. And also, here I actually um dropped like some links that can be used, right? Like you can, if you intend to, maybe do like some further studies and stuff like that, you can actually make use of these links, right? Maybe I can actually see if I can copy these links and drop them in the chat screen so that any of us can, um, yeah, these are the couple of links. I've been able to display them on the chat screen. So please feel free to um, let me know if you have any questions regarding this, and I'll try my possible best to provide answers as much as I can, right? I know they are all clumped together, but maybe I can paste them one after the other. So maybe it can make it a bit easy, right? For anomaly detector, yeah, you can make use of link here. For anomaly detector, you can make use of this link here. And of course, you can then also proceed with these other links as well. So I'm just trying to separate them so they don't look all packed up for those who may decide to, want to do some extra studies, or you want to review some of these things we've spoken about today, right? So that's why I'm sharing this. Now, if you've joined the session for today and you're not a member of our group, I think you are doing the wrong thing. You are doing the wrong thing. So please endeavor to kindly join our group. I think we this series is going to be continuous. It's not just going to be just one time series. Is going to be continuous. So if you do intend to, understand what we have, or what we are planning for the community, endeavor to join our group, right? You can go to the link here, https link 3, right, .ee/aws sec west africa. Yes, I've also pasted this link on the chat. So please feel free to go in here, follow us, follow our LinkedIn page so that you can always get updated with the various activities which we have planned for you. Yes, so like I said, this session will be continuing tomorrow. So I would like you to also join same time tomorrow. And of course, we would have one of the interesting speakers who is going to be available to share some insights on awesome topics. And yes, we also have registrations in case you have not registered for the event which is coming up tomorrow. Don't hesitate to do so. I think I can share the the link for the session tomorrow. I'm trying to confirm. Oh yes, yes, it's actually available. I've just shared the link on the chat, so please don't hesitate to sign up for the session we have tomorrow, right? And it's an amazing topic, actually, an amazing topic. We are going to be speaking on automatic target weights and mutual authentication for app load balancers updates. So, yes, and we'll be having one of the amazing speakers in the house who is going to be joining that particular session. So, yes, endeavor to register for the event, and I do hope to see you tomorrow. But at this time, I would like to say thank you for those of you who have stayed from the beginning of the session up until this time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It was nice actually sharing what I know about this particular anomaly detection patterns in CloudWatch logs. And of course, please feel free, reach out if you have any questions, or you can discuss with any of the leaders of the AWS Cloud Security User Group West Africa. My name is none other than Promise Onwachku, one of the leaders for the community. And of course, feel free to always reach out to me anytime you can. I'm also available on LinkedIn. Yes, I'm available on LinkedIn. So, yeah, don't hesitate to send me that friend request. Don't hesitate to, reach out if you have any questions bothering you. And sure, I am available to provide answers as much as I can to them. So, yeah, at this point, I'd like to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Samuel, I don't know if you have anything to share before we close for the day.
None at my end, but just to thank all our viewers and everyone who has learned one or two things. You can always revisit the video. This is also on YouTube.
Yeah,
If there's any aspect you're not clear, and you can revisit it. Thank you, everyone.
awesome, awesome. Thank you very much, Samuel. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you all. I hope to see you all tomorrow. At this point, I would like to say bye bye. Thank you all. See you all tomorrow.